I am about to show you the score of a hockey game, and it's a decent score, but don't read too much into it because it's not a great reflection of what actually happened in the game. Avs win over the St. Louis Blues 4-3.
Alex Newhook!
Oh boy.
Whoa!
Mika! There was a lot of nonsense in this game, and we'll get to some of that. There was also a lot of sloppy play from the Avs, and I think that's a fair criticism of their game. It was not particularly crisp. But the Avs still completely dominated St. Louis in this game on the whole. Shots ended up being 42-18 in the Avs' favor throughout the game, and they just ran the team completely ragged. Even in the third period, which St. Louis trailed by 2 for the majority of, the Avs outshot them 12-6. It was just never a close game when it came to possession, and that came from the Avs playing the way we know they're capable of. High energy, high octane, dominating the other team by always having the puck on their stick. The finishing could have been a lot better, but one step at a time here. The Avs did a lot of good things, and they got a win in this hockey game. Good? Good. Alright, let's start off with some nonsense. 3 minutes into this game, Sampo Ranta seems to have scored his first ever NHL goal with the deflection, but no. The Avs were pretty definitively offside. Ranta was late flipping a puck in on a dump and chase. It was blatant. This isn't one where it's like, oh, it's cutting hairs, or oh, it didn't really affect the play. You just can't do that. It was obvious offsides. The problem here is the refs didn't call it live. Fine with how it went. Unfortunately, the Avs goal doesn't count. The first 10 minutes also included a couple of power play opportunities for the Avs. Now, the power play ended up 1 for 5 on the night, and the result is not particularly good, but the process was better. Not amazing, but better. It's getting there. I think that's a safe way to put a lot of things about the Avs game right now. It's getting there. And this whole game was a little bit weird, right? St. Louis is without O'Reilly and Saad. The Avs were already without Girard and Taves. But on top of that, Mikko Rantanen leaves in practice this morning and does not play in the game. So, no excuses for either team. They're both hampered. One team just dominated the other. And it seems to be one of those funny constants in hockey when you are dominating a team but you're not producing goals. Eventually, their one opportunity coming back the other way ends up in the back of the net. And in a roundabout way, that's what happened here. Some context here, Kemper has just made a great save on a 2-on-1 to keep this a 0-0 game, and that's gotten the Avs out of the dangerous area. You can see all 5 Avs are now back on defense, and this should be a standard offensive zone possession, nothing special. The Avs do get a little bit weird as the Blues cycle the puck along the near wall here and kind of get caught chasing a little bit, but really they get away with it as the Blues eventually move the puck out up high and then to the corner. The Avs are now going to get a shot from a defenseman from the point from the corner. This is pretty much the ideal shot that you can have. It's even a clean lane. Kemper sees this all the way in. You cannot ask for a better shot to see if you're a goaltender or a defense, honestly. The shot comes in low on the ice, and it just trickles through Kemper and goes in. Look, I need to give a lot of credit to the Avs here for the way they played after this goal, because that's the type of goal that just crushes people's hopes and dreams, just completely flips momentum on his head, destroys mentalities, and ruins teams' games on the whole. It's just not a good goal. It's not one you can have, and it has to be better. But the Avs just continued to play and dominate the Blues from there, and that's how they turned this game into what was a pretty easy one for a lot of it. The Avs earned their goals in this hockey game, and they earned a 1-1 tie after the first period thanks to this play. This play starts with a good keep by Murray, who just shoves it up the boards to keep it in the zone. This one kind of slips past Cowart with a bouncing puck, but Compher is there as well to collect it and keep the Avs in control. Then we have 2 Blues committed up against the wall here, so getting this puck to Jost, while not very cleanly done, is very effective as everyone sticks with their man for the Blues as they come off the wall. Jost is given a ton of space to skate into and do what he likes with the puck. Time, space, whatever. It all works. He ends up making the simple play back to Ryan Murray at the point, which is okay. The Avs were pretty well covered. Murray is going to fire a shot that beats the first man. Pretty critical in this game. Compher gets in the lane. You can see a bunch of bodies in front. Compher just does a great job to get his stick on this one. The perfect tip, and the Avs get rewarded. We'll get to JT Compher, talk about him even more in a little bit, but that's a play with Tyson Jost and Ryan Murray on the assists. Those are the type of guys the Avs need to get scoring. A little bit more consistency of production throughout the lineup is how the Avs get the job done. The second period is more of the same. The Avs just completely dominating the game, controlling possession, and leaving the Blues in the dust at every turn. Everything looks like a really good hockey team until you get to making the actual play. Sometimes it's the top liners trying to do too much, dangle through three guys and make an unnecessary pass, throw a blind no-looker to the slot, do something crazy. Other times it's just dudes straight up whiffing on pucks. I swear there's a stretch of this game where every time the Avs went to shoot the puck, they either flubbed it, entirely whiffed it, or hit the first guy right in front of them 8, 10, 11 times in a row. It was actually insane. But when you have that much puck possession and you're that strong on the puck, you draw a lot of power play opportunities. It takes 5 of them for the Avs to finally figure it out, but at the end of the day, they scored a power play goal in this game. Compher going to get a pass in the bumper spot here and flub it. We saw a lot of this tonight, but we also saw a lot of what comes next. A loose puck and the Avs just dogged for the puck. They're all over the Blues. They're all over the puck, and they come away and win it, getting it out of the dangerous area and continue their power play as it's set up. Just outwork the other team. They run the exact same play again. This time Compher has even more space than the first, so he uses it. He holds onto the puck, resets, changes the angle, and then just beats Binnington on the glove side. Let's be honest, right now JT Compher is the Avs' linchpin to success, and that's going to change a little bit as the season goes on, as the top line settles in, as guys like Kadri and Burakovsky start to settle in, even as they get defenders back that are capable of pitching in on offense. But right now, Compher is doing everything the Avs need him to do and more. He leads the team in goals scored this early in the season. Of course, that's not going to last, but Compher is doing more than enough. And I'm going to be honest, I think that goal kind of took a little bit of weight off of the Avs' shoulders. They have a lead again in a game that they deserve one. They got a power play goal. All of a sudden, I think they started playing a little bit looser, and it takes just about 3 minutes for them to get another one. Most of the Blues are going for a change here, and it's sloppy through the neutral zone in the second period, so it's the long change for the Blues. When this poke check comes through at the neutral zone, the Blues are already in trouble because they're coming off of that bench. O'Connor just gets it up to Kadri. Kadri walks in. He doesn't really have the space to cut across and get to the center of the ice, but Kadri's a good enough shooter that he doesn't always have to do that. This one is going to be pretty soft from Binnington as he's going to get beat under the glove. It's also a very good shot from Kadri. Bang, bang, Avs are up by 2. Nas, that is exactly how you get back at this team. They're obviously mad at you. They made you fight again early in this game. You tell them what's up by scoring a goal on them. It's that simple. Okay, let's have a chat about this insanity of a hockey play. First of all, I think this should have counted as a goal, as Logan O'Connor pretty definitively gets pushed into the net against his own will. He's trying to stop. He's trying not to let that happen, but the defense just pushes him in and knocks the net off. So why doesn't that goal count? I'll let you tell me why. After that, we get this insane scrum, which kind of weird, but whatever. If the Blues want to be salty about a play that should have been a goal but wasn't, they can go ahead and create a scrum. I'm not going to care too much about the scrum. I don't even care that much that Binnington got involved in the scrum. It's kind of messy and crazy and stupid, but stuff like that, it happens. It's hockey. The part where this becomes nonsense is after the fact. After all the heat has cooled down, Jordan Binnington decides to do this. In what universe is that okay? Were any of you raised as a person to play sports growing up and throw a hissy fit on the ice and then do something incredibly dangerous? Even if he knows he's not going to hit Kadri because he's too far away, those are things that you just don't do. It certainly makes Binnington look awful, and things get even more nonsensical when you find out that, naturally, after Kadri got a stick swung at his head, he comes back at Binnington. And he doesn't try to engage with him physically or anything, he just has some words for him. Because, yeah, you're a reasonable human being. If someone swings something at your head, you're probably not going to be very happy with them. But somehow, in this situation, definitively instigated by Jordan Binnington being a little asshole, they end up giving a misconduct to both Kadri and Binnington. What are we doing here? One of these plays can definitively be said as not a hockey play, and something that could potentially be extremely dangerous to another player. The other is Nazem Kadri talking. It's Game 7 of the season, and this is already incredibly old. It's very clear that Nazem Kadri plays under a different rule set than the rest of the NHL has to, and it's not fair. Not to mention the absolute nonsense from Jordan Binnington that just gets accepted because he's a goalie. He does this all the time. There's multiple clips of him doing this nonsense last season that he just gets away with it. And that's not cool. You have to be able to rein that in. Goalies can't just run around beating people with their sticks, running into people, being a total jerk. That's all he's really being. None of it has to do with hockey either. It's incredibly frustrating to me to see that stuff. And I know he got a misconduct here, but at the end of the day, it ends up being Nazem Kadri gone for 10 minutes for the Avs, and Jordan Binnington gets to stay at the game. St. Louis gets to go to the end of their bench, they choose their least impactful player to serve the 10 minutes, and the Blues win that trade. After a thing, again, instigated by Binnington, the Blues end up the better of it. This season, the NHL is setting dangerous precedents for what the future of the sport is going to look like. And this is a stretch. These things aren't going to happen, but they could start happening, and then the NHL puts themselves in a tough spot. What happens if players legitimately start handling the puck on one knee through the neutral zone? The NHL is going to have to let players get hit, right? What happens if Jordan Binnington had actually hit someone with his stick, swinging it like that? The NHL would have to actually enforce it. So why are we letting the game get to a point where the NHL is going to have to go back on its own word to keep the game reasonable and a sensical sport instead of just nipping it in the bud in the first place? It is incredibly frustrating, and at this point, I've lost my mind, so I have to move on. The Avs are up 3-1 after the second period. The third period was a little weird. The Avs dominated possession still, but they gave up a few very dangerous odd man rushes, and some of this is probably desperation from St. Louis's side being down 2 goals. But when teams talk about playing a safer defensive style with a little bit less forward momentum, with maybe less possession and shots on goal, these are the types of things they're trying to prevent. Easy goals, or at least dangerous opportunities for the other team. St. Louis takes advantage of one fairly early in the third. This play is just messy. An initial shot is going to get blocked by McDermott. The puck springs out, and it looks like it initially comes into a good chance for the Blues, but they overskate the puck. Right here, you would have loved to see the Avs aggressively jump on this puck a little bit better, but they're too slow to it. Blues are able to maintain possession, and you see pretty clear markings here. Murray takes the puck carrier, McDermott takes the man going to the slot. Problem is, McDonald is just sitting here, and in a situation where he's not sure if the Avs have the puck or not, the safe play is to go back and cover Schenn wide open on the back post. It's just not a guy you can leave open unless you are sure your team has the puck. He doesn't do that. He gets caught in the middle, and it's far too late. By the time the pass comes across, this one's a tap-in for Schenn. It's a bit of a broken play, really, so maybe that one's not quite as bad of an odd man rush, but still, the Avs could have played that better, and this entire third period, the Avs didn't seem super comfortable with a lead. With that being said, they're still an incredibly talented hockey team, and the hockey gods wanted to dole out a little bit of karma to Jordan Binnington, so less than a minute later, the Avs got the 2-goal lead back. Another play where the Avs just work hard. Nathan MacKinnon keeps a puck in at the blue line. Yes, it's incredible skill for him to knock it out of the air, but he's also in position to make the play, and then he wins the race for the puck down the boards. Again, that's the stuff that wins hockey games. All the talent in the world, it does not matter if you're not working hard. MacKinnon pulls up and eventually finds Cale Makar with a beautiful centering pass to the high slot. Cale Makar is, well, Cale Makar. He's going to do this sometimes to you. This is not his best shot, and honestly one that Binnington has to stop, but Makar puts it on net, and Binnington gets beat. That was mostly all she wrote for this game. The Avs kind of did their thing through the rest of the third period until late. Again, the Blues make him pay for a mistake that wasn't really necessary, but look, sometimes Tarasenko just fires a missile. A goal that was ultimately meaningless, but you can see a little bit of a problem here. Makar goes for the pinch and gets a piece of the puck, but not enough to really maintain possession, and the Blues get to pick it up in stride and head out of the zone. It's not great, but honestly, this is not that bad of a situation, as the Avs are pretty much back here. This is a 2-on-2 situation with Kadri cutting across to take the puck carrier, and just a little bit of tough luck, as Kadri intercepts this pass. It hits off of his stick, and just floats, you can see, just out of his range there, and it ends up being a perfect play for St. Louis to create a 2-on-1 and put Kadri behind it. He played it well, he even intercepted the pass, and the puck just didn't go his way on this one. The rest of this is just Vladimir Tarasenko. The dude's an unreal shooter, and he beats goalies like that. A goal that didn't end up mattering because the Avs scored 4. They leave St. Louis with a win. The record is now 3-4, and that looked like a decent hockey team. Not a great hockey team, but a decent one on the right path to getting back to great. That's perfectly fine with me. We know there's a lot more to give from the Avs' best players. We know there's a lot more to give when they get healthy. There's more to come. But we're starting to see the scoring figure it out, even if it took most of this game to get there. And the Avs have played at that high level of energy now. There was something there. They started to understand what it takes to win hockey games, especially against decent teams, again in this one. And if they got that, they'll be just fine. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for more post-game coverage. I am Rudo, and I genuinely don't know what to say about refereeing and player safety in the NHL.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nate the dog and Gabe the babe. The fun isn't over yet, it is Avalanche time.